All right, hey, welcome to Hit. This is High Intensity Tactics with Chris Cicchinelli, and we are talking about fight for what you believe in. Today, it's going to be a little bit personal, okay? So for all those that are looking for that kind of business talk, business 101, this is going to be a little bit more on kind of the personal side. And this is going to be a personal side about, you know what? You can't leave the fight in other people's hands. I thought it was great. I don't know if anybody checked out that Starbucks commercial. You know, hashtag what's my name. That was a great commercial that they ended up running, and it kind of goes back to the whole thing. I know a lot of you guys have been, following the journey that we've had with LC. And when we think about that journey has been one of the most, fantastic kind of journeys, but it didn't start out that way, right? It started out a little rough. It started out not understanding. It started out not having a clue of how to act or what to do. And if you're listening for the first time, I have a transgender daughter that is one of the most amazing and strongest people I think I've ever met in my entire life. And this whole month, it's been insane because there's been more and more and more states that have been coming out with different laws around, wanting to put doctors in jail for, giving hormone suppressants to these patients, these children. Well, I can tell you, LC, our family, we've been doing this for the last year and a half. And it's crazy when you hear some of these political thoughts about what people are saying. Oh, we're filling our kids full of drugs, or we're doing all of these other things that they're going to put harm in these children. Well, I can tell you right now, I'm a person that's living through it right now for the last 18 months. And when I say this, I say this with all due respect. I've watched the children when they come in and they don't feel like who they are inside, right? They're living this life as, this unbelievable, beautiful, girl, right? And inside they have this feeling of still that kind of being a boy. And Jessica and I said to ourselves, when we started the foundation, that we were going to make sure that we were going to fight for our child, but not just for our child, but for every child that was out there. Because we want them to feel the way they are on the inside, the way that they are to look the way they are on the outside. And that's why we're taking a way more aggressive stance. Jessica and I decided this the other day. We said, you know what, we're going to take a greater stance on fighting legislation, on making sure that we take this and fight against these anti-inclusion and limits for the rights for transgender kids, because I think it's important, especially like places like Kentucky, like right across the river. I'm going to fight because, they want to jail doctors for doing this. Are you kidding me? Aren't there other things you should be worrying about other than, making sure that these jailing doctors for giving kids hormone suppressants? What are you doing? Because you think you need something to run on. You need a platform to get a little bit of a national attention that helps you win your county, win your little region. Because at the end of the day, it's not right. But you're trying to make waves. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. It's kind of like, Florida was trying to do the same thing, right? But Florida decided, let's make this into a workshop. Let's get together. Let's have a communication. You think about, Jazz's mom was there. If you don't know who Jazz is a young transgender girl that had a show on TLC and talked about and followed her journey. But they got together and they had conversation around it. Where conversation comes change, where conversation comes understanding. We talk about that all the time. I know that there are some people that listen that just don't understand. I get it. You know what? I understand you might not understand, but are you willing to listen? Are you open? Are you willing to be educated on it? I think that's how we have to go through life. I think education is key. I think if we know more, about each other, maybe we have more empathy for each other. We have that more understanding. I have a friend of mine that's in a group. I never really thought that this person would ever, connect with my daughter, because, very right wing, very, has their own set of beliefs. But it's amazing that through watching my experience with my child and being part of that, they're like, man, I get it now. I have a lot more understanding. I have a lot more appreciation. See, I didn't force it on them. I didn't say, hey, you have to be this, you have to understand my point of view, or I can't be around you. I'm not going to operate that way. I think you do it through education. I think you do it through change. And it takes time. I understand that. Would I like to snap my fingers and make it safe every day for my child, make it safe every day for these children? Yes. I like to do the same thing for anti-bullying too. But I know what it does. It takes time. It takes time, just like if you're going to build a business, it takes time to build that too, right? But everybody wants it yesterday. We have to understand. We have to sit down with each other. We have to communicate. We have to see it from everybody's points of view. And then at the end of the day, we have to do what's right. We have to do what's right for everyone. It's time to stop, putting these laws out there and stop loving people. Laws are great as far as, for the protection of people and making sure nobody gets hurt. But can I tell you something? You don't know what you're going to be doing to some of these children if you start putting some of these laws in effect to take away some of the things, the way that they believe. My child, you're talking about a kid, a child that went from the bottom of their class, every day didn't want to go to school, every day didn't talk to anybody, didn't communicate. Now she jumps out of the car. She can't wait to be the first one into school. She can't wait to participate with her friends. She's now, in the top 20% of her class. It's amazing to me. I don't think you understand. And I think we need to do a better job of educating people. That's really what it's about. Let's make sure that if these things come up in our counties or our states, that we say, hey, look, there's a resource out there. There's Living with Change out there. Go to that. Find out more about that. Understand what they're doing. Have a greater appreciation from each person, because it's the same thing. Like, somebody came to me the other day and said, I had the same fight with Down syndrome. I had the same fight with people not understanding, Rets, or the same situation about people not understanding this. It all is about education. It's about how we can see each other and help each other and make this place better in which we found it. Let's make sure we understand that we got to fight against some of these bills that are coming up. And we got to have conversation. Let's get in there. Let's do what they did in Florida. Let's make it a workshop. Let's understand from each other. Let's grow from each other. This is HIT, High Intensity Tactics. Have a great day, everyone.